My name is Steve Coleman. I play saxophone, compose. That's about it. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Your band. Well, I mean, I'd like to hear Phil, but I've been doing all these interviews, and tomorrow, Bunky Green and Charles Lloyd. You know, so I can't hear Randy because I'm doing this interview. So. You know.
Right, but I'm saying it's so nice that a lot of the younger musicians really look up to you.
That's funny because I want to hear a lot of the older musicians, older than me, you know.
Right.
Well, I'm from Chicago, and there's a guy named Von Freeman who's a big kind of, he didn't actually teach me, but he's a mentor to me, kind of, I follow him around town and everything. And then the guy who's playing tomorrow, Bunky Green, I used to follow him around Chicago. Sonny Stitt, I used to follow around, so those were some of the earlier saxophone players who were older than me, who I looked up to. No, it's good. It's good. I mean, to me, there's nothing wrong with living, So, I mean, and as you live, time moves on and everything, and at first you were the youngest, and then you're the next to youngest, and then, next thing you know, you're in the middle somewhere, that's how it goes. Well, we do a lot of, there's a lot of spontaneous stuff that we do, like a lot of, I mean, all this music is spontaneous on a certain level, but a lot of it is spontaneous sort of on the improvisation level, each person taking solos and things like that. But we try to actually construct new structures and things like that as we're playing. So we try to do spontaneous composing as a group, but in such a way that the audience really doesn't know that it's a spontaneous composition. They might think it's a pre-composed thing or something like that. And then a lot of times we'll mix things together, like we'll mix different pieces of material together in different ways. Every concert we'll do it a little different, I mean, we might be playing 2 and 3 things at once, We're really into like a kind of malleable structures, kind of taking structures and kind of bending them and like clay, like molding clay or something like that. So technically, that's the best thing I could say. Spiritually and symbolically and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, all the music is constructed to tell some kind of story. To be symbolic of something. Representative of something. So there's a storytelling aspect to it. So those 2 things, I would say. Well, they have to. I mean, you got guys like Tyshawn Story, the drummer. I mean, he's like this kind of genius type guy who never had to practice anything that I gave him. He just could do it right away, And he has his own music, which is even more complex than what I do, And he plays with a lot of different people, and he has like photographic memory and total recall and perfect pitch and all these like ridiculous skills, So he's like one of these prodigy kind of guys, Jonathan Finlayson, he's about maybe around 29 now, but I met him when he was 13 originally. Then I met him again when he was 15. Then I met him again when he was 17. And he was like getting better and better and better, each time. And so he joined my band when he was about 17 or 18. So he's been in the band about 10 years now. And Jen Shu, when I met her, she was just singing classical music. She wasn't improvising at all. And now she's doing like all this like improvisational stuff with her own group. She does her own group, and then she sings in a lot of other people's groups. She sings with Anthony Braxton and a lot of different people. A lot of really crazy creative music, which is hard for a vocalist to do. Most vocalists do song forms, where they come out and they sing a song with words, body and soul or whatever, And she comes out and she can do that, but then she can also do what the instruments do, with her voice. Who else? David Varelis, he's from Cuba, and he contacted me because some friends of his in Cuba had introduced him to my music and everything, and he lives here now. And we just slowly started working more and more together until we were working together, I mean, I didn't formally ask him to join the band, but he just sort of eased into it, And the last person is Thomas Morgan, who's very, very quiet, but this is amazing bass player, who has these huge ears, who can hear everything, and he plays with everybody. I mean, you'll see him in like everybody's group. And he's from the same area that Jonathan's from. They knew each other in high school. And so he might be a year older than Jonathan, but he's also from, he's playing with everybody in New York, So that was the basic group. This is Steve Coleman. Thanks for coming by. And if you want to check out more interviews, go to jazztimes.com.